day, Darlington County School District, and welcome back to a new school year as well as a new In the Know, where I have a chance to update you on the most recent board meeting as well as any other items that are going on throughout the district over the month of August that we are in. So again, welcome back to a new 2023-2024 school year. We have had a great start so far. We are into week 3 now, almost at the end of week 3. And of course, our first week, I want to applaud everybody for how prepared you were. All of our buildings, all of our teachers and staff and principals did such an amazing job getting ready for your families, getting everybody registered and settled. And so I just want to say a big thank you and a shout out to how well the start of the school, first day, of course, best first day ever went, but also the rest of that week. And again, we're now in week 3 and things have certainly smoothed out. Obviously, we had a few transportation hiccups that we had to deal with. And again, thank you, Transportation Department and bus drivers, for all you did to help work us through that situation to where by week 2, you had every student that had asked to be on a bus. And so again, being well prepared and jumping into action when you need to take care of the issues that came up. Thank you, Transportation Department, as well. So we did have a board meeting this past Monday, and several items were discussed at that time. The first item that was discussed was there was a field trip form that had some modifications to it. That we already have a field trip policy that's in place, and so there was just a form that we had to change some verbiage on and some extra language that's on that. Again, teachers, for those field trips, you pretty much take care of all that up front as you initiate those, and so that was approved by the board. We also had what is called our GEO bond resolution, which is where we purchase our maintenance bonds that we use to take care of our maintenance issues annually in the school district. And so, for example, our technology, so the computers that we have, the student computers and devices, the MacBooks, the iPads, those are paid for out of these maintenance funds that we have through these GEO bonds that we get each year. And then also a lot of the facilities maintenance projects that we have, the smaller facilities projects that are going on around the district each year. That's the way that these are paid for as well. So you may have heard them called 8% monies, and you may have heard them called, again, maintenance fund, but primarily they're for the upkeep for our buildings and facilities as well as for our technology. So that was approved by the board. And then also we had our strategic plan that was approved by the board. And as I've talked about, we've been working on that for the past 8+ months. We started actually in November of last year working on the strategic plan and brought a lot of stakeholder groups together. Had lots of meetings over the past months to try to whittle down to where we are. Of course, you heard from me at Convocation the new mission statement that came out of that, which is educate, empower, and prepare all for an ever-changing world. That came from the strategic planning process that we had. And of course, we do have 4 focus areas that are in the plan. One of them is student success. One of them is staff excellence. Another one is community engagement, and the last one is efficient use of resources. And so what I did talk with the board about is that each month I'll be giving an update on those 4 focus areas, and all of our schools are helping with that. So they're going to have at least one item for each of those areas each. And so I will have a list of approximately 20 every month from each of those categories that I'll be able to talk about at the board meeting to highlight how we are working on the strategic plan focus areas. Another item that's come up this past week is that we have been patiently waiting for our test scores to be announced publicly. And so we have had those scores and they've been embargoed for a while, but we have just received word from the State Department this week that as of September 5th, those will be able to be discussed openly and in public. And so we're very encouraged about being able to talk about all the great opportunities and gains that we had for our SC Ready scores that we've had, as well as the EOCs. And so certainly we will be highlighting this as well at a board meeting that will be coming up, and most importantly at your school levels, to be able to have those conversations, because we've really had some great gains at many of our schools this past year, especially in ELA. ELA is just very strong for the school district this year, so we look forward to be able to having those discussions. Also want to give you a reminder that we do have a holiday coming up in September too, and so it is Labor Day. And so Monday, September the 4th, will be a day off for all employees, and all buildings will be closed. And so we look forward to that long weekend. And of course, in Darlington, what that means is that we have a big race in town. And so the Southern 500 will be taking place over that weekend as well, on Saturday and Sunday. And we actually have about 100 tickets that we've been allocated at a reduced price of $25. So again, we've done this pretty much every year for the past few years. So if you're interested in purchasing tickets for the Southern 500 over Labor Day weekend, they're $25 each, and please contact the communications office on that. Of course, with the beginning of school and the start of fall, even though it's very warm outside and August is technically still summer, but we do have high school football that is coming back in play this coming week. And so I'm very encouraged because all three of our high school football teams will be playing at home this Friday night. And so we have Lamar, who is hosting Hemingway, we have Hartsville, who is hosting Conway, and Darlington, who is hosting Central High School. So I encourage you to go out and support your local football teams, and of course cheerleaders, the marching bands that are associated with all that. It's a great time to connect. As I said at the board meeting, we are in a unique place in the country where small towns and Friday night football is a big thing, and it's a great way for us to connect and gather with each other and to share and have community together. So look forward to the success of all of our football teams on Friday night. We certainly would like to see 3 wins come from all 3 of those games. And that wraps up everything for the current In the Know. Again, as we get started with the new school year, very encouraged about everything that we're moving forward with. By the way, I have heard lots of positive comments from teachers and schools about the Tammy Pulowski, the Dr. Pulowski professional development that we have initiated across the district throughout the entire school year this year. Of course, you heard Dr. Pulowski at the convocation, and then every one of our teachers had professional development with Dr. Pulowski that in-service week, and we are actually starting the first monthly professional development with Dr. Pulowski. She met with our principals this week already, and then we will be meeting with our leadership teams, and then of course our staff, teachers and staff in our schools, and rolling out this very, very productive professional development that is relevant strategies that can be used immediately in our classrooms and in our schools. So we're looking forward to the success of that. Along with, of course, we started map testing already, so we're finding out where our students are. You know, I always say, you know, where are our students? Where do we want to get them to? And then how are we going to get them there? This is the first part of that is where are they currently? And we get that information through map testing and assessment. Of course, we've also had our 4K and 5K assessment at the beginning of the year as well. So again, a lot going on, but a lot of excitement for the beginning of the school year, and I'm just really glad to be able to see everybody in our schools, to see our students, our families, our teachers, our staff, our principals, just everybody involved. It's a great time of year, and so As I always say, please hug on your loved ones. Tell them how much we appreciate them sharing you with us. And I hope you have a great rest of your week and a great August. And I will see you the next time in the know.